guys, let me introduce, I know almost everybody here. So, I am the director here, and it's great to see you all. We did this last year, it really worked out well, and we're glad that, and we're grateful that you all are coming back, because, it's a good thing to have a direct face, a face for everyone. Where's Karen? Karen wanted to meet, is Karen still here? No, okay. A couple of things ahead of it. So, the Women's Club is next Thursday at 1 o'clock. We have a really good lecturer. I actually haven't met her, but she comes highly recommended, and she's going to talk about women and children in the American Revolution. It starts at 1. We hear about the guys during the American Revolution. Who knows anything about the women or the children? So I think it'll be a really interesting lecture. So if you're interested, even if you're not in the Women's Club, you're more than welcome to join us. Just make sure you sign up. On April 4th, I can't believe we're already talking about April. We have Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We have a woman coming, and she's doing a performance. She's supposed to be fabulous. And if you want to hear about what happened during Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg's life, this is supposed to, and she also comes highly recommended. We're doing it at the library, so we have more space. It starts at 10 in the morning, and it's on April 4th. We already have about 35, 40 people signed up, but we can have up to 60 people. So please, if you're interested, make sure you sign up. And the other thing, and we messed up. I know nobody thinks we ever mess up, but we mess up sometimes. So, on the 11th, on April 11th, we have a really great lecturer. And his name is Richard Nichols, and he's going to do Paul Revere's Ride. And it's the myth and the truth of Paul Revere's Ride. He has come, has anybody heard him? He did the Mayflower last year.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't he great? He's really, really good. So if you're interested, please sign up. I'm glad someone went to I know it was highly attended last year. And I messed up because I don't have the write-up in my newsletter, so I forgot. But it is in the calendar. So it's on the 11th at 1 o'clock. And finally, there's something new that we're doing that wasn't in this because we just got it last week. District Attorney Michael Morrissey, he did this before COVID in 2020, in January of 2020, because I remember it. And he's doing getting ready for an emergency. And you will actually go home with a backpack that has, and Joan can recommend it. And Nicole, did you do it last time? No, Joan did it, just Joan. Did anyone else do it? Did you do it? Wasn't it really good?
Fabulous.
It's fabulous, okay? So she got a cancellation from another place, and she said, do you want it? And I'm like, we'll take it. So again, it's on April 27th, and you will go home with a backpack full of really important things, and it also tells you what you need to put in it, like a spare set of glasses, a copy of all your medications. God forbid if anything, you need to have an emergency backpack, and it's a really good program. We can only have 15 people because we're doing it in the conference room, and that's the most we can have in there. So if you're interested, please make sure you sign up because I know it's going to fill up.
What day of the week is it?
It is on a Thursday. It's on April 27th at 10 o'clock. Be there or be square. Okay, so aside from that, please look at the newsletter because we have a lot of other things going on. Those are just some highlights that I wanted to make sure you all knew. So make sure you stop in and sign up. The one thing I do ask everybody, okay, I just want people to know, 12 people signed up. I think we have more than 12 people here. so I always ask if you are going to come, just let us know. We'll make sure we have plenty of space for everybody. So now let me introduce you to everyone. And first of all, thank you all for coming. It really means a lot to us and to the center. It's really important. We did this last year and it was fabulous, and we're doing it again. I'm going to do it annually. First of all, my boss.
That's what we're doing.
Christopher Coleman, he is awesome. We work very closely together, and I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, and you know how honest I always am, he really cares, probably too honest, he really cares about the elders in town, so thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming. Molly is new to us. Molly is, I want to say it right, it's the Human Services? No.
Assistant Town Administrator / Director of Human Resources.
Human Resources, okay. So we have an Assistant Town Manager now, Molly, and she's also the Director of Human Resources, and thank you for coming and welcome. We're so glad you're here. And then we have Stephanie, who I love because we've been going toe to toe because we're doing budget, which is part of what you do when you do budget. So thank you for being so kind to me.
And how what you do when you talk to me.
That too. Stephanie is our new town finance director. She's also the assistant town manager. And we're grateful that you all came and you gave us your time. Now, I'm timing this, okay? Now, I only talked for 5 minutes. See, that's good for me. So, you have a half an hour, and then we're gonna do 10 minutes of questions, and then we're gonna let them go, because they got other things they've gotta do, and so do you. All right, thank you, and now we'll be quiet. Which is hard.
Tough intro to follow. Good afternoon again, thank you. My name is Christopher Coleman, I'm the town administrator. And what we're planning on doing is providing some information, but we really want to hear from you. So we're going to give you some information, but we really want to spend most of the time listening to your questions and trying to answer your questions. So just as a little backup, so we are in the middle of our budget process. Our select board and the Finance and Warrant Commission, as well as the school committee, are going through that process as we're getting ready for our annual town meeting and also our annual election. And I did have some information from our town clerk, Toddy Powers, that she'd like me to share with everyone. Our annual election is going to be on Tuesday, April 25th. It will be at the Westwood High School Gymnasium. The polls open at 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. The last day to register to vote, if you are not already registered, will be Friday, April 14th. The town clerk's office will be open from 8:30 to 5 p.m. to accommodate those residents on April 14th. And you can also contact the town clerk's office at 781-326-3964, and we'll leave this information here with Lena, so you'll have that as well. There's also an opportunity to vote by mail, so if you'd like to contact the clerk's office for information regarding that. There's also early voting this year, so the early voting will be in the Gillette Meeting Room. The Gillette Meeting Room is located at 588 High Street, which is also our police station, so it's our meeting space there. That'll be on Friday, April 14th, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., and also on Saturday, April 15th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to the clerk's office. They'll be happy to assist you. We have, and I've said this last year, and I'm going to say it again because it's true, we have a really strong team. And our team is, we have a team of individuals who are very dedicated to provide top-notch service to the residents and to the community. They care about the community, they care about the residents, they want to hear from you, they respond to you, and we also seek some of your advice because sometimes we don't come up with the great solutions, you guys do. So they're here to listen, they're here to respond, and they're here to help. We have also a very strong financial team and a very strong financial basis in the community. We have a AAA bond rating, which is the highest in Massachusetts, and this goes before us. People started well before us, and also with the residents. Without your support, we wouldn't have that as well. So that allows us to get the most advantageous interest rate when we go out to borrow. So continuing with that sustainable budget approach, maintaining that AAA bond rating is our goal, along with the select boards and the Finance and Warrant Commission. As well as a school committee. So they continue to do a great job, those three boards continue to do a great job providing us with good sound advice and to make sure that we are adhering to our financial policies. We also had, everyone familiar with University Ave?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had 2 remaining parcels at University Ave. One got sold to a hotel called Homes 2. We're still waiting for them to submit their building permit. And at Monday's select board meeting, the select board authorized Dana-Farber to have a proton beam therapy facility at the last remaining parcel. So now all those parcels have been transferred over. So we are fully occupied from that standpoint. We are still waiting the construction of those 2 structures. But it's a really positive thing for the community. As you know, University Ave has certainly added to the resources in the community. And also added to a lot of the amenities in the community. So we're very happy to be continue to be partners with New England Development as well as with the community in the support of continued economic growth, trying to have that more of a balance between our commercial entities as well as our residential entities. We have the Finance and Warrant Commission will be meeting on Tuesday, March 28th for their second public hearing. This is, just as a little backdrop, the Finance and Warrant Commission typically have 2 public hearings as part of the budget process. They had their first one earlier in February, the end of February, and they're having their second one at the end of this month. That'll be an in-person meeting. That's going to be on Tuesday, March 28th, 7 p.m. at the library, if you are interested. This will be the last public hearing before you receive those Finance and Warrant Commission books. So this will be the last one. They'll hear about the budget, they'll talk about the budget, and they will be voting as well. So I'm going to turn it over, certainly give you an opportunity to ask some questions, but I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie. She's just going to provide you with a little bit more information regarding some finances and some different programs you may be interested in.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So I should mention, I know Lena said you're the new one, but I just started myself 4 months ago for the town. So I'm the current finance director. I took over for Pam Dukeman, which a lot of you may have known in the past and met with. And she set the town up, which I am hoping to continue in all the traditions of, as Chris said, we got AAA bond rated again last summer, and we last went out to borrow. The policies that are in place in the town, the financial policies, everything that goes behind that, how we conservatively budget, the team that we have, I'm just hoping to continue all of that on. So this is my first budget season, so we're going through it, and I've had the pleasure of working with Lena on, as she was saying, the COA's budget, and I've also had the pleasure of coming by to a few events recently, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. So I've tried to pop by and meet as many of you as I can, and I think the programs here and the way that the town treats the seniors in the community is just wonderful and very supportive, and I hope you all feel that. So Chris sort of went through the budget process and all the meetings coming up and the background there. I was hoping to just touch on, and I'm just going to briefly go over this, some programs that would help seniors in the community, specifically for tax benefits. You might have received, I think it went out in the last tax bill, a couple of pages on aid to the elderly and some programs that might benefit you. I'm going to go through those quickly, and there'll also be information on that in, as Chris mentioned, the book that's coming out in about a month or so, the annual town meeting finance and warrant book that's coming out. So I guess the big one for the current senior tax programs is the one offered by the state, which Westwood implemented. And it's Chapter 59 is the name of it. It's for residents 65 and older, and it's a possibility of up to $1,000 exemption on your taxes. And I don't know if any of you have ever come by Town Hall. We have a great, in the assessor's office, we have great staff there. And one of the women named Lisa, I just spoke to her before coming over, she said, please come by anytime if you have questions about this. The deadline for the current year we're in for taxes is actually not passed yet. So April 15th. So if you are interested in this program and you possibly qualify, we're happy you stop on by anytime. We can chat about that. Like I said, that is a possibility of $1,000 exemption on your tax bill if you qualify. Also, we have a senior work-off program, which I believe, did Lena implement that at the COA?
It's run here.
It's
run
run
through
here, yep.
Yeah.
So she probably has much more information than I'm going to have right now, but it's been in place for probably 20 years now. There's up to 100 seniors eligible, and I believe the current rate is $1,500 that you can get off your taxes. So that's a great program. Like I said, speak to Lena more if you're interested in that. If you're eligible, another great program we have. And then aid to the elderly. We distribute each year, I believe Pam Dukeman actually started this program, and I'm hoping to continue it on, working with our collector's office and our assessor's office to, I believe we give out $100,000 about each year. And we have between 45 and 55 people apply each year and get accepted into the program. So it pays approximately 25% of your tax bill. It is eligible for, I just want to make sure I get this right. I know that there's some, it's based on income and years living in the town and age and some of that criteria. And I can get you all that information. If anyone's interested, please come check with me afterwards. I can give you my contact and send you all the information on that. For this year, we have already received the applications, and we're going through that process right now, but it might be something you're interested for years going forward. So those are the big ones that I can think of, unless, Chris, do you have any other? No? So I'm happy to answer any questions like Chris said. I think that's what I'm most excited about. And I'll pass it off to Molly.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm no longer the newest, so I was very happy when Stephanie came on board. So we're talking about the budgets. About 75 to 85% of the town's budget is actually salaries and benefits. which is what I do all day long. So I work with Stephanie and Chris, on the people level of trying to figure out how do we hire the best people, how do we retain the best people. It's not, you don't have a whole lot of people desperate to get into public service anymore, and the three of us are really motivated to trying to change that. So with my HR hat on, we do a lot of recruitment. We do the maintenance for all of the employee benefits, so that's health insurance, dental insurance, retirement for both the town and the school employees. So you're looking at several hundred people, and there's a lot of collaboration there. Keeping us in compliance with a quadrillion ever-changing state, local, federal laws, managing the COVID crisis from a people perspective. Every day is different. I always say I have the luckiest job in the world because I get to know about 5% about what every department does, but there's 25, 30 departments, so I get to be a little baby expert in COA one day and DPW the next day and fire the next day. So I love to talk about people and where we're at there, and sort of as Chris said, we're all new, right?
Yeah.
So we both started last year, and Chris has only been here since 2019 or so, and so we're still very much learning from the residents, especially residents who have been here for a very long time. So you want to open to questions, or do you have more things?
So I'm just going to add a couple things, so thank you both.
Yeah.
So the Select Board has re-engaged what we call the Long Range Financial Planning Committee. And this planning committee is looking at a number of different things, and I see one member here, Joe. They look at a number of things. They look at our facilities, they look at our financial policies, and one of the big things that we have coming up is looking at different facilities. One of the current facilities that we're doing a feasibility study on is our fire station on off of High Street, our headquarters. So we currently have an operational study going on from a staffing standpoint, and then we also have our feasibility from the building standpoint. And that includes looking at the best location, and then also trying to determine the right size for the program, the department now as well as going forward in the future. The other thing is, for those of you, has anyone here enrolled in our Alert Westwood notification system?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. For those of you who may not be aware of it, it's on our website, and what it is, we certainly would encourage you to take a look at that, and we can certainly work with Lena to maybe come back and have a little program to help people enroll. This is an opportunity where the community can contact you through email, through a text message, or through a phone call. If you have, whether it's a landline or a cell phone, and this way we try to provide information. We try to save the phone calls for the really important matters, but we need to get more people enrolled in order for that to happen. We can do everything from road closures to if there was a situation where we just wanted to let people know. Could be a health issue, could be a public safety matter, and it could be just general information. So we're trying to get connected with as many residents as possible, and that's one of the ways that we are trying to do it. So if you can certainly go online, look at that. And again, we can talk to Lena, maybe having a program here, and we can walk some people through who may need some assistance in enrolling in those programs. We also have what we call Westwood Word, which is a hard copy that gets mailed to each household, where we try to communicate regarding different things that are happening both town and school. And we also have the Westwood Wire, which is more of an email-based notification system where we provide updates on different things that are going on. So those are some of the areas that we try to provide connection and information to you guys that doesn't come in this type of form or doesn't come in a public meeting. But if there are certain things that you would like us to do that we're not doing, by all means, now we're going to turn it over to you and ask you for your ideas, your suggestions, and tell us what you would like to see us do better. Seeing no questions? Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, is there any talk what's going to happen to the Deerfield School once the new school opens?
So the Deerfield School, so just as a little backdrop for everyone, the Hanlon Deerfield Elementary School project is underway. It's on target. They're looking at the date of February of '24. And the question is what's going to happen with the Deerfield School. So the Deerfield School is moving to the new facility along with the Hanlon School. That school is still under the care, custody, and control of the school committee. So they would have to determine what they want to do with that facility. I don't have any information on that, but other than it's under the care, custody, and control of the school committee right now.
Will citizens have any say in what happens to the building? Or is it all up to the school committee?
Right now, it would be up to the school committee. I don't know what their plans are for that. I can't speak to that. I'm sorry. I don't know what their plans are for that. Yes.
Do you know how much our taxes are gonna go up in the school?
That's a great question. And I think there was some presentations done before. I think I do not want to say definite numbers. I believe the average tax for the average home of about 800,000 was around, and I know that there was some presentations that went over the course of about a year before final rate was, when we went out to borrow last summer, a final rate, but before then they were averaging about $700, but that's for an average home of about 800,000. But I am happy, and I thought I might get this question. I was gonna say, if you feel comfortable and you wanted to do a one-on-one, you can always stop by, or I can give you my number in the office, or email, and we can look at your property in particular and see how much we're estimating that going up, if that is helpful at all.
Yes, sir.
This is maybe outside of your realm a little bit, but is there any long-range planning on what's going to be done with the Sheehan School? That's the older school that hasn't had anything major done with it so far.
Yes.
It needs to be updated or replaced or something. It's not going to happen right away, I know, but is that in the planning for the financial aspect?
Yes, and let me answer it, because the school committee for the last 2 years have submitted what they call a statement of interest to the Mass School Building Authority. This just along with the select board, this was just voted on at Monday night's meeting by the select board, so they're gonna be submitting that again this year. And the MSBA is the abbreviation for the Mass School Building Authority. What that is they provide some funding for certain school projects, which they are providing up to 18.1 or $0.2 million for the current school that we're building. So that's one of the things that they're looking into.
I
Yes.
think I missed something. Are you talking about another fire station? You know, the one that's on High Street now, replacing that?
We are doing a feasibility study on that. That's what we call headquarters, yes.
And what is a feasibility study? Does it talk about the cost justification, why we would need a second firehouse?
It will go through the existing conditions of the fire station. It also looks at different locations, if it's recommended that we would need to move the current location. And also will go into some type of design or estimated cost on what it would cost to rebuild it.
And that feasibility study for the structure itself, right, the fire station itself is going hand in hand with an operational study to say, do we have enough staffing in this department? Or do we see in the next few years, 5, 10, 15 years, the need for additional staffing? So if you're going to build a building that's going to last 50, 60, 70 years, you want to make sure it's big enough to last the staff that you're going to need for that long. So that's why both of those studies are happening at the same time.
Outbursts of fires to increase staffing? I don't think so.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's not.
Firefighters, 75% of the calls is actually EMS,
Right.
and those calls absolutely continue to increase.
Maybe we need more EMS and not so many firefighters.
So our firefighters are also paramedics. Many of our firefighters are also paramedics. So when we speak of
EMTs.
firefighters or EMTs, but
Well, maybe just maybe somebody who's just a paramedic.
yes, ma'am.
My God, I'm wondering, are you gonna have the same answer for what happens to the Hanlon School that you did with the Deerfield?
No.
No? Do you know what's going on? What about the old Hanlon School?
Yes, so the old Hampton School, after the new one is constructed,
Yeah.
they will be demolishing that, and they will be replacing that with new playing fields, a soccer field as well as a baseball field.
Thanks.
You welcome. Yes.
Do they have a name for that new schools?
So it's my understanding at the last school committee meeting, they've identified 2 different names, and they're asking the students to select the names.
Do we know the names?
Um,
Can we know the names?
Pine
Hill.
Pine Hill
Well-
and Pine Oak, yes. Pine Hill and Pine Oak. Those are the 2 that, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Was there a question over here?
I heard something about replacing town hall. Is there talk of replacing town hall also?
There has been talk of replacing Town Hall prior to my arrival. And
So
that
many
continues
years.
to be discussed. But that is part of the long-range financial planning committee. Some of the work they'll be doing, they'll be looking at all of our facilities and things like that. But as of right now, there is no plan, there's no feasibility study, there's nothing going for Town Hall at this moment.
What about the senior center?
You have one of the greatest advocates regarding senior center here. So
Loud
yes,
advocates.
Yes, so yes, we are senior center is certainly part of that long-range financial planning, and Lena has some great ideas that we are talking out as we speak.
Because it is not adequate.
Yes, she has told us.
Well, and we agree.
She told us that as well.
Do you want to talk a little bit about who makes up the long-range financial planning?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
Chris, I just want to make a comment on the High Street Fire Station.
okay.
I was living across the street when the one that was originally there burned down, and I stood in the window and watched it burn, because we had a call fire department, and they couldn't get out the trucks. I've been in that fire station on numerous times over the years. It's completely inadequate. You can't get, there's a problem with getting any trucks out of the basement level now. There's problems with the floors. There's all sorts of problems there, as you well know, but I've been following all of this for a long time. Well, since I was a kid, because I grew up here, so I know what has happened with these things. And I think the Westwood Fire Station is a priority because it's not adequate, and in some sectors, it is not safe for the firemen that are living there, because they do 24-hour shifts.
Thank you. Did someone else? Yes.
I just wondered about the Obed Vega project and, when it will start. Is there any time frame?
Yes, so the person who purchased that property is going through the permitting right now. It's either planning board or zoning board that he's going to be meeting with, and once that process gets completed, then he can apply for the building permit.
I see.
What is happening there?
What has happened with
What is the plan for that property?
I believe he's looking to have a veterinarian office on the lower level, and I believe he's looking to have some living quarters up above. And also as part of that, he's rebuilding or building a new cemetery, we call it a facility, a barn.
A shed.
A shed for the town
Facility's
as
nice.
part of that, because that's where our current location is right now.
Yes.
Do you have any projections on the number of people you do want to hire for the fire station here that's up on High Street?
We don't have projections as of yet. We're still waiting for that operational study to be completed.
And that's part of it is the staffing issues.
Yes, so there's two different studies. One's an operational study, which would be staffing, and the other is a feasibility study for the facility. Okay. Yes?
I noticed when they did Islington Center over and did all the new buildings, they were also talking about doing High Street center of town over. Are they still planning on doing anything with that?
You referring to the fire station?
No, I'm talking about the area where the post office is and stuff. I think at one time they were talking about redoing that, kind of similar.
Zhuzhing it up.
Oh, okay. Where the post office and then the post office located. Okay, yes. Yeah, so we have continued to reach out to different property owners regarding different initiatives, and to try to see if there's anything within our zoning that's currently preventing them from doing something different with those properties. And that's not just that property, that's a variety of different properties throughout the town. So our Community and Economic Development Department continues to have conversations with different property owners to see if there's something that they have identified as a concern, but we certainly encourage those conversations with those property owners. So the town doesn't control that property, just to be clear. Okay. Mhm. A lot of eyes. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you know if they're going to be putting any electric vehicle charging stations in town anywhere?
Yes, we are. We have one at Wentworth Hall, which is over in Islington, the new Wentworth Hall next to the CVS. We are signing papers now, if I'm not mistaken, for the police station and for the high school, right? Or is it this location?
No,
Just the police station, okay, just the police station. We've talked about having different energy efficient solar canopies and charging stations here, as well as the high school, and our energy manager is working with the different entities on that. We're trying to go through a program where it will be the least costly to the town in order to have those charging stations installed, purchased and installed. Yes.
Are the solar panels going to be going in on the high school parking lot? And if so,
So that's one of the what we call solar canopies. So the solar canopies are they look like canopies, high canopies with solar panels on top. Yes, so that was one of our energy manager has worked with the school committee and the superintendent on that.
so that is definitely out.
That's the plan is for the back parking lot, for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know this is a delicate section. I'm not anti-vet or anything like that, but the old veterans behind the police station,
Yes.
I grew up next to it. My father and that group from World War II built all the Girl Scout house, VFW and everything.
Okay.
But it's empty now. No one uses it. Memorial Day, a few Vietnam vets come and, hang out for an hour or two. And I don't know if the town doesn't, I assume it doesn't own it. I guess the veterans.
Actually, the town entered into an agreement with the American Legion that went through a town meeting last year, so the town now owns that property.
Oh, well, at some point, it's gonna be of use to somebody. It make a lovely little park. And, I mean, they've done this talk about changing the town hall. I don't like that at all. The town hall looks fine to me, and I get a lot of people tell me they love the police. They say, wow, you got the nicest police station. And I think that would finish that property off if a nice little park, some benches for the land, I mean, it wouldn't cost anything.
Well, the select board has entered into an agreement with the American Legion. So we do have, in that agreement, they have office space, so we still want to honor our vets. So they have office space, they have some storage space in there, they can use that space. We will be renovating that space, and while that space is being renovated, we will have other municipal space for the vets, the American Legion to meet. So we will continue to be partners with the American Legion. Yes.
Did I miss this, or did we talk about what's gonna happen with the Deerfield School? Will that be torn down?
So, no, you didn't miss anything. The Deerfield School is, it's still in operation, and it's under the care, custody, and control of the school committee. So I don't have information as far as what their plans are as of yet. I'm sure they will have a great plan when they make that decision on how they're going to use that facility. Or what they're going to do with that
Chris,
facility.
in regards to that, I know this might sound outlandish, but I think it would make a great public school for the arts. Like the Walnut School in Natick, people from all over the country come to have art programs there, playwrights, dancing, music. And you could have all the surrounding towns, people from Dedham and all of their kids could come and pay tuition, things like that. I mean, I know the financial costs may be prohibitive, but I think it'd be a wonderful use, and I think this town they haven't had many professional artists come out of this town. If you look, I'm not compared to Newton, Natick, I mean, Brookline, Cambridge. It'd just be a wonderful thing for the town and the surrounding towns.
Thank you.
I think Fred Welsman is correct.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Boy, I came just at the right time.
Lena's my lifeline.
So, does everyone got their questions? Was this helpful to everyone? I always think this is so important that we do this once a year. Can we have a round of applause?
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Lena, I have some information from Dottie here, if
Okay.
you would like that. This is
Right,
in
I'm gonna let you talk
the
about it.
event that you have not registered, if you're not already registered to vote, we have a voter registration form here for you that we're going to leave with Lena. And we also have the vote by mail application. If you would like to take one, this is for an individual. We also have one for a household, so anything more than one person in that household. There's a separate application form. We're going to leave these here. And again, you can always reach out to our town clerk's office. They are happy to assist you in any way.
And if you want to talk to me, I can get you over there. Make sure you get it. So I have one thing that I do want to remind everybody. We only had 9 people sign in, and I have a feeling there's more than 9 people here. Math is not my strong point. I'm a social worker. But if you didn't swipe in when you came in, can you make sure you swipe in when you leave so we can make sure we have the right numbers? And it really helps us get more grants. This is why we ask you to swipe in. It helps us get more state funding. You know I get a ton of grants. It helps us with sponsorships because it's all about the stats. And it only says 9 people showed up when I just counted 20. There's a big difference. So please, if you could remember, if you didn't swipe in when you came in, you can always swipe twice now. And that's on film, so now I'm in trouble. Thank you, Westwood Media, once again for joining us. Thank you. Round of applause. And please be safe going home, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
There's more food if people want to grab something to eat.